Hi, Brody here on the site corner again. I'm so excited to start this monthly rollout of content with Rapid Fitness, and I thought what I would start by doing is drawing more from some information from the world of psychology that applies directly to physical fitness, and then in the coming month or two after that, focus more on pulling stuff from the area of physical fitness that really applies more to the area of psychology that we like psychology learns from physical fitness, because there's a lot of positive crossover between these two worlds. So for this week, I'm going to pull from psychology, and I'm actually going to pull from the area of addictions counseling. It's going to be pretty relevant to some people's relationship with food, especially if you're trying to make yourself eat less or really well. So this principle I'm going to talk about today is called the Abstinence Violation Principle. So what the Abstinence Violation Principle states is that once a person has violated the relapse, they're very likely to scale into a full scale, or to go into a full scale relapse, or what you might call a bender, right? So this is an easy example of someone who's trying to abstain from alcohol, picks up a sip of a beer from their buddy, and then all of a sudden realizes, oh my gosh, I just broke my abstinence. I haven't drank for a year. And they just get really overwhelmed, and then they're like, well, I might as well just have another one. I might as well have some hard liquor, and off they go into maybe a 5-day bender, right? Meanwhile, everyone who cares about them, everyone in their family or that they work with, and myself as their therapist, would really rather that they had just been like, oh, that was really scary. I'm on the edge here. Why don't I remove myself from this situation, right? So that's a pretty extreme one, example of where we get that idea of abstinence violation principle from. But there's really these subtle ones that happen with, I see, in the personal training context almost every day, and I myself a lot. So, say someone, one of my clients, they might wake up one day, really have a great breakfast, get some vegetables in, and their macros are really solid. Then they have, at lunch, something they were looking forward to, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, then after this, I'll have a pretty low-calorie evening. And then, they walk into the break room, there's a donut there, they take it, grab a bite, they don't even think about it. They're halfway through the donut, and they think, right, I'm trying to eat better. I shouldn't be having this. Now my whole evening is blown. I'm not going to be able to get enough, I've eaten all my calories practically, and I'm not going to get my protein. So then they might say, well, screw it. And then, on the way home, since they already said screw it, I might as well order a pizza and pick up, some beers. And then they end up in that situation. If they had just eaten the donut and said, oh, I got off track, I'm going to have to just go with my plan like I had it, but now I'm one donut over. What would that add to their calories at the end of the day? Like 300 calories, it's not that big a deal. For most of my clients, they would still actually be in a calorie deficit after having that donut. And even if they weren't in a deficit, that just means you broke even that day. That's okay. That's still better than gaining weight. It's a partial success. Meanwhile, if they go out and get this pizza, well, that's like 2,000 calories, right? And if they're in this, bender mindset, they're going to eat the whole thing. And pizza goes great with, anything salty or sweet goes good with some sort of beverage, right? Whether it's carbonated or coffee or whatever. And so then all of a sudden they're drinking some calories. They could go over by like 3,500 calories if they're not careful. And that's like a whole pound. Now that's going to take you a week to get back from. Whereas if you just stuck with the donut, you'd take you maybe no time at all, or like half a day to get back to exactly where you were when you took too big a bite. So that's the abstinence violation principle. The simplest way to put it, if you drop your phone on the ground, I doubt you start stomping on it. So that I dropped my phone, I might as well stomp on it if I'm going to mistreat it. No, you pick it up, you make sure it's okay, and you be more mindful, right? And that's exactly what we should do in these little moments of abstinence violation, or whatever you want to call it. It's a marathon, not a race. Just a marathon is a race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Just get back on the horse and take your time with it. You'll be happy you did when you don't burn a bunch of progress.